I was working in accounting. I had just graduated college and I was going to my corporate accounting job. I got hired at the same place that I had an internship. And I was like, okay, perfect. I'm like down this accounting path. I grew up with a very traditional family. Like my dad, like worked the same job for 40 years, and my mom was like part-time, um, like worked part-time, and then she was stay-at-home mom pretty much. And so and they were very like employee mindset, like loyal to a company. And so that's how I was. And I was like, okay, got my corporate job, like at a really great company. I'm gonna like wear my pencil skirt with my Starbucks cup and climb the corporate ladder. And this is what I'm gonna do until the end of time. And so I did my corporate job for like, I think it was probably about 4 years in. And I just really started to feel like I was getting promoted. I was doing the things, I'm getting high performance reviews, but I just started to have that thought in my head of like, is this really it? And I was like, I just don't know if this is really it, but I didn't tell anyone because I was like, this is what I went to school for. And like, I just need to be grateful. And this is what I need to do, So I kind of just kept it all inside. And if you would have asked me if I liked my job, I would have been like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, I love it. But inside I was like numb. I was like just going through the motions. Like I was spending like 50 hours a week there. I was just burned out. And I was like, I'm 25, 26. Like I know there has to be a different way, but I did not know what. And I like looked at jobs on LinkedIn because I was like, well, maybe if I like changed companies. And at that same time, I kind of started doing just some personal development. I didn't even know I was doing personal development, but like I would read blogs and I started to listen to some podcasts, not the ones I listen to today, but I kind of just started to like let my mind open. And I was like, you know what? A different job at a different company is not the answer. Like I kind of knew that. I'm like, all that's going to do is like put me in a honeymoon stage for like a few months. And then I'm going to probably feel like this again. Like I just want something different. I want to contribute to the world in a bigger way, like not just behind a spreadsheet or in a meeting or anyway. So my coach, I would go to fitness classes on my lunch break at my big corporate job. And then we got to be kind of friends. And after class one day, she's like, have you ever thought about online coaching, Beachbody coaching? She's like, I'm a coach. You might really like it. And I was like, I do not know what that is, but I had always loved fitness. And I was like, you know what, Katie, like, sure, let's do it. And so we talked about it a couple times and I was like, I don't really know if that's for me, but sure. And so, cause honestly, I just needed happiness. I needed fulfillment. I needed like something that was going to get me excited. And at the time I was training for my 4th marathon and I had an Orange Theory membership and a Core Power membership. And then I would go to fitness classes on, Katie's on my lunch break. And so I always remind my team, like, you just never know where someone is at. And so I came right in to coach, not knowing where it was going to take me. And I started just leading my own challenge groups. Like I had no clue what I was doing. But it kind of just showed me that there were different ways to earn income, different things that you could do on the side of a full-time job. And it literally became my like fulfilling positive outlet. And so I'm a really big fan of like the power of building this part-time and speaking to people who are pretty happy in life, but like they know it could be a lot better and going from good to great. And because I wasn't in a back against the wall situation. And I was earning good income at my corporate job, but in my heart, I was like, this is soul sucking and I'm not doing this forever. And maybe this little glimmer of coaching could just give me something. I never saw it being as an exit strategy, but then, it turned into that over time. So that's kind of like my story in a nutshell. But then going into income. So, and now I've been doing this for 8 years. I started when Steve and I were newly married. We didn't have a ton of discretionary income. We were both just kind of getting going in our corporate jobs and we were doing all these house remodels and you guys know how expensive that is. And so income, it wasn't like a main driver for me, but I've always been kind of a numbers person, accounting. And Steve, my husband, is a numbers guy too. And so naturally we just kind of like to talk about numbers and money. And I know not all couples are like that, but I was maybe 5-6 months into coaching and I was like, Steve, I made, I don't know how much, $200 this week or $300 this week. And he was like, how are you even earning money? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know, but this is really fun. And like, I think I get 25% commission and I'm like, and then I'm like I'm bringing on some coaches too. And like, there's this team bonus thing. And he's like, hey, what do you mean you're like, you have these 2 coaches or 4 coaches, whatever I had. He's like, what do you mean team bonus? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you literally have no clue how you're earning money. And I laugh about it now, but at the time I felt really embarrassed. And I was like, because I would never like sign up for a job, not understanding how I got paid. Right. And so we sat down at my computer like that night because I felt kind of ashamed. And we started looking at team volume, like left side and right side. And we started just trying to figure out like, okay, so this is how you got these cycles. This is how you got this $28 this week, and we just started learning the comp plan. And then I really started to take it on myself to start tracking my income, to start paying attention to like, how much did I sell? How much came from the team cycle bonus? And so that was like my reason for wanting to figure it out. And then really ever since then, I keep a close eye on it because here's what I tell my team, because it's true for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're income driven or not. What you focus on expands. And so it's just like if you have someone who wants to lose weight and they're doing 2B mindset, you're like, okay, 2 pounds at a time. You need to track it. You need to weigh yourself every day. Or, if they're trying to get to 100 workouts and morning meltdown 100, it's like, what do you tell them to do? Track it, right? And like progress, it matters. And so it's the same thing with income. If you're not tracking your income, or if you have no clue how much you're earning with coaching, or you don't know where to go to check it, right? Like there's all these things I hear people say and I'm like, what? But I get it too, because I was there. So what you focus on expands. And if you are income driven, it is absolutely okay to focus on it. Like Paige, you were the one who did the debt boards, right? Yeah. So like you could focus on that and paying off the debt, or you could just focus on how much did I earn this week and where did it come from? Income drives many things. And so I didn't join directly, for income, but I did join for fulfillment and helping more people. Like I have a strong like Enneagram too. So wanting to help more people and wanting to impact bigger. Income is a byproduct of that. So if you came in and you're like, I just want to help people. Okay, income is a byproduct of helping people. And the more people you help, the more income you earn. And so as females, especially, we just got to get comfortable saying like, it's okay to earn income. It is not evil. It is not, we have all these money beliefs that are sometimes ingrained in us. If you're driven by time, like you just want more time with your kids, or you would love to design your own schedule or not have to rush out the door in the morning, income is going to create that for you, right? Time freedom is driven by the ability to like have income and have a flexible schedule. So it's pretty much any goal that you have. If you dig deeper into it, it is probably like, and I need more income to do that. And so I just like, I'm a big fan of helping women kind of understand that and know that it's not bad. So there's my kind of money mindset spiel for the night, but I would love for you guys to share in the chat box, like scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel about the compensation plan and like understanding it? 10 is like, you get it, matching bonus, team cycle bonus. 0 is like unsure, have never checked it. Okay, 2, 8, 6.5, 6.5. I love the half. 5, 4, 7, page 9.5. Awesome. 9 for being anything where I'm above. Oh, I see. Okay. Yep. All right. So I'm gonna explain it really briefly, just because I always think this is helpful, especially if there's like a new coach on who just maybe hasn't even heard this yet. So 3 parts to the comp plan, write these down. And then what I always tell my team is say this out loud and practice it on your spouse or something, so that when your new coach says, how do I earn income? You're able to like spewed off freely, right? And it's not like, well, I don't really know. Like, I don't, you don't have to get freaked out about this. And you don't have to be a numbers nerd. You don't have to have an accounting background. You don't have to love Excel sheets, none of that. This is like income 101, and it can be really simple. So number one is commissions. We get 25% on retail sales that we make. 25% on any sales from a regular customer that's purchased through you. I think that one's pretty straightforward. So if you sell a tub of Energize to a customer, a friend who's a regular customer, you get 25% of the retail price back to you. Number two, and in the beginning, I just want to say this, pretty much a lot of my income came from commission, came from my sales, because I didn't have a team in the first month. And so I was just like, hey, the way to earn income is to sell, right? And so that's like straightforward. And people are like, I'm income driven. I'm like, sell, go sell. And don't be afraid of the word sell either. That's a whole nother conversation, but that's retail. Number two is the team cycle bonus. And so this doesn't get unlocked until you're emerald. And then when you become a coach, you grow two legs, right leg and left leg. And so the comp plan is what we call binary, 2. And so every time your right leg of the organization and your left leg of the organization generates 200 volume points, and the other side generates 100 volume points, a $14 cycle bonus is generated to you as the upline, as an emerald. People say, okay, what are volume points? They're pretty much equivalent to dollars. A bag of Shakeology is 90 volume points. And you can always check volume points in the coach office, like by product or by total solution pack. It always says it there. But every time one side has 200 and one side does 100, 200-100 ratio generates a $14 bonus to the upline coach. So people say, oh, that just doesn't sound like a lot, like $14, whoop-de-doo. But over time, as you build out your legs and as your organization grows, that 200-100 ratio could happen 5 times in a week, right? So if it happened 5 times in a week, Tiffany is going to get 5 times $14 if she's emerald. If you're diamond, you get $18 per cycle. And that is the highest that our cycle gets, is $18 per cycle with the comp plan. So what I'm going to talk about next is step 1 to maximizing income is diamond, because you want to be cycling at $18 per cycle. And that $4 difference across a lot of volume points is actually very huge for a lot of coaches. One more thing, since I'm on this, is emeralds cap at $250 cycle bonus per week. Diamonds cap at $2,000 per week. And I have a lot of emeralds in my organization that cap at $250 a week. And then when they go to diamond, their income is vastly different. And they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot hang out at emerald, because you're literally leaving money on the table, right? That's probably not for everyone here. It all depends on how your volumes are set up and everything. But yeah, that's team cycle bonus. And so over time, this part can be really lucrative if you are building a strong organization of a high performing team, or a productive team that's selling and doing something and bringing on coaches of their own, that kind of thing. And then number 3 is the star diamond leadership bonuses. And these happen at 4 different ranks: 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, and 15-star. And they are lump sum quarterly bonuses. What I mean by that is, so long as you hold that particular rank for 6 weeks in a quarter, you qualify for these bonuses, and they're lump sum. So one big payout per quarter, but that could happen 4 times in a year. And they're based on how Body does as a company for that quarter. So they're based on revenue, and then also how many coaches or partners are in that pool for each category. So, and these can be very lucrative. So, I think you can even look them up online. I'm not going to go into that part tonight. Paige can talk about it with you guys if she wants, but they're very impactful. And a lot of people don't even know about that part of the comp plan, but it's powerful. And the 2-star bonus is always right around like 700 to 1,000. And I'd say 5-star pretty consistently is around 2,500. But then they're additive. So if you get the 5-star, it's 2,500 plus 700 for the 2-star. Like you get both of them. And then if you were a 10-star, you get the 10 plus the 5 plus the 2. So that's another category to, another opportunity to earn. Yeah, a reason to rank advance. Exactly. So let's see, commissions versus team cycle. I encourage every coach to start going in, especially if you're Emerald or above. Otherwise, if you're not Emerald yet, that's step one. Like by Thursday, go Emerald, because you want to start to accrue that volume. And the faster you go Emerald, the faster you start to build volume. And so it's just like, it's kind of silly not to get to Emerald like that. And it's 2 people. So and again, a different call, but it's like, it's 2 people, like, find a way to get to Emerald. But once you get to Emerald, definitely want to be going in and checking your earnings and commission each week and seeing, okay, how much came from my own sales? And then how much came from my team? Like what was in the team cycle bonus? And if it was $28 and you're Emerald, you go, okay, I cycled twice. Cool. 14 times 2. How did that happen? And the earnings and commission section of the coach office is so nice because everything is hyperlinked. And so you can click the $28 and you can understand, okay, this is how the cycles happened, right? These were the sales that made it up, and the coaches in my downline that were part of this. And I just think that's really helpful to start connecting that 200, 100 that I talked about. And then same thing with your own sales, right? If you have $150 commission in your retail sales, I would be clicking into that and going, okay, some came from this total solution pack, some came from Energize. It just helps you understand. Some came from a BOD renewal. I think that's even in a separate line, but really, really helpful. And then 3 steps to grow income. And this is just like my Molly way of thinking about it. But I think there's really 3 milestones in body on how to grow income. And number 1, I'm brushing past Emerald because it's like you have to just go do that. Number 1 is Diamond. Number 2 is Stable Diamond. And number 3 is 2-star Diamond. And I'm going to kind of go into each one of these right now. But Diamond, you guys probably know what a Diamond organization looks like. Actually, I have a visual right here, so let me just get it out. You guys probably know how many are Diamond? Anybody? Okay, 3 of you are Diamond. The rest is anyone close? Oh, yay. Okay, I see a couple of hands. Morgan and Kathy are close. Awesome. So Morgan and Kathy are going to be the next Diamonds. Here's what a Diamond structure looks like. And then you have four active coaches or preferred customers on each side. And then you have an Emerald on each side. That is a Diamond organization. And the reason that I say the comp plan really opens at Diamond is because that's when you get $18 per cycle, right? Before that, you're not even maximizing the comp plan because you're not to the $18 cycles yet. Are you going to make millions as a Diamond coach? No, especially not right when you hit it, right? But it gets you there. It's like, let's get to the top and then we can build the volume from there. So that's my philosophy on Diamond. Now, when people go Diamond, like if Morgan hits Diamond this Thursday, she will probably be what I call a shaky Diamond, right? She'll have like the 4, the Emerald, and that's it. Nobody cancel, nobody postpone, like everybody stay as is. And that won't happen. I mean, I shouldn't say it won't happen, but Morgan will continue to add and she'll continue to build. And some people might cancel and go inactive and say, I don't like Shakeology or whatever. And so she will be shaky for, I don't know, it all depends on the coach. She'll be shaky for probably a good month until she, what I call goes to stable Diamond and buffers out her account enough that if Meg cancels, it's no no harm, no foul to Morgan, because she's like, okay, I have a lot more people here. That happens. It's a business. People are going to cancel. And I just have to keep going, and I have to keep my foot on the gas. And what I say is play offense, right? I can't just be in this mode of defending my diamond. Oh, someone fell. Got to fill that spot. Okay, I'm good. Oh, someone fell. Got to fill that spot. Okay, I'm good. That is like it's a terrible way to build, and it's a really good way for burnout. So what I tell my coaches is when you hit diamond, we'll celebrate it, but then you get your foot on the gas and you keep going ideally fast to get to solid diamond. And what solid diamond, this is my own definition, is 7 active on each side and at least 2 emeralds on each side. Because if you have 7, 7, and 2, and 2, again, you're kind of buffered out, right? And it's like, if and when something happens, and it will, so I should say when, you're stable. You're a stable diamond. And that's also when you're actually going to start seeing that volume, that 200, 100 happen more often. You're going to be getting more cycles a week, right? There's more people in the downline. There's 2 emeralds on each side. They might turn into diamonds, right? So there's just more going on. And I just really encourage my coaches to get to solid diamond as fast as possible, because I don't want to say like you can kick your feet up, because you can't ever. I'm still not 8 years in, but you can breathe for a moment, right? And until you've solidified your diamond, you're literally filling spots, and that's just kind of part of it, right? It's a business. It takes a while to get it solid. So that's step 2 is solid diamond. And then step 3, and this is where I think the real income happens, is 2-star diamond. And the beautiful thing about 2-star diamond is, one, you start to get the quarterly lump sum bonuses, which is great. But the bigger thing is you get the second business center. And when you get the second business center, that basically means you get to sign up yourself again. So you'll have like another email, you'll have another bot account to log into, another profit center that's earning income. And the cool thing about that is you can place it in your organization wherever you want it to maximize your income. And it's totally allowed, and it's like part of Body's comp plan, and it is a gift. I've heard a lot of network marketing companies don't have anything like this. So I'm just like, I'm fascinated by it. And every time you go 2-star in any business center, you get another CBC. So how my organization looks is I have Molly I'll just call her Molly number 1. And then I have Steve, who is signed up as a coach, right? And we build together and whatever. And then I have Molly number 2, once I hit 2-star, and I have it layered. So it goes Molly 1, Steve, Molly number 2. And so for a long time, I just put all my sales through Molly number 2, because Molly number 2 then gets the commission or the fast start bonus, right? Call it $50. If she's diamond, she gets $18. So $50 plus 18 for the cycle. Steve is diamond, so he gets $18. And Molly number 1 is diamond or above, so she gets $18. So it takes a $50 sale to 50 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18. It's like powerful. And for doing the same amount of work, right? To get that one sale. And so I'm always like, get to 2-star. If you're income driven, get to 2-star. Because that is where that's where I saw a pretty drastic change in my income. Especially once you get that second business center to diamond. The second business center doesn't mean anything until you start putting people there, right? And then now I have Molly number 3, because Molly number 2 went 2-star a couple years ago. And so Molly number 3 is diamond, and I can put people down through Molly number 3, and then it happens again, right? It's just, you guys, it's so cool. It is so cool. And not everyone's organization is set up where you want to like actually layer it like I have. Some are, but like some of my coaches, they put their second CBC on their opposite side, and then they've got a business center that they're controlling on each side. And that's really powerful too. It all depends on like what your volumes look like. And that's something that you can like work with Paige with when you get to that point. So those are the 3 steps to grow income: diamond, solid diamond, 2-star. 2-star will not happen overnight. Like it won't for me, but for me, and I was a sprinter, I would say. I did it in a year and a half. I don't know how quickly Paige did it. But I like, once I learned about 2-star on a call like this from my upline, I was like, well, I have to work towards that. Like I have to find 2 diamonds. Like I have to find 2 people to do this with me. And I don't know what you say about this page, but I just also don't care about 1-star. Like I don't really love when people build to 1-star with their spouse, because I'm like, okay, cool. It gets you to NLC, right? If that's a goal, but if you want to build income and you want to have a team, you need working coaches. And so we have to like stop beating around that bush, like, oh, I'm just going to like build a family member. No, like go find some working coaches and talk about the business and do it with them. And, if your spouse wants to be part of it, cool. But like 2-star is the creme de creme. And so I just like, I don't really have my coaches focus on 1-star. That's a byproduct of them going 2-star is kind of how I look at it. Shelby did it in less than a year. Way to go, Shelby. I love it. And Shelby, is your second CBC diamond?
Unfortunately, no. But
okay, so that's what you got to do. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm always like,
no, you're good. You're good.
Like that's where the beauty happens, you guys. When you have that, when you're cycling a diamond, $18 across a few different business centers, it's powerful. So. And then the last thing I'll show, and I'll just show you guys, tracking your income. So how many of you guys do this on a weekly basis? Like you log in on Thursdays and you look at it. Okay, most people are raising their hands. Cool. If you're not doing it yet, or if you want to just like have a better way to do it or whatever, you can go to Beachbody earnings and commissions, and there's a little export button there. Like you can look at your weekly pay. It'll be all, on the Beachbody site, body site, coach office. And then you can click the little export button and it will automatically put it in a Google sheet or an Excel sheet for you. And then so that's what I did, 8 years ago. And then from there, I just add a row every week into the Google sheet. And for week ending, whatever it is, and then I input my income from each business center every week and the total. And I just encourage every single coach to be doing that, right? So that especially if you are working with multiple accounts, yours, your spouse's, maybe a second business center, in time, a third, fourth, you can have up to 25, by the way. Isn't that cool? Like you can have 25 business centers, which is like, what? I don't think that anybody does, but you can. Lindsay Matway or something, I think she has like 12. Micah Folsom has like 8. I think it's fascinating because I'm like, how is it all set up? Like, how does it all flow? And then like, are you just like logging into all these business centers every Thursday? It's interesting to me. But you've got to be tracking it. And I would do that from the beginning. And the reason why I love tracking it is because there's such a big seasonality component in our business. And so, this happens every like August, September. People are like, oh, the sky is falling. Volumes are so low. And it's like, no, it's not. It's back to school time. People are on vacation. They're very distracted. They're giving you price objections because they're trying to pay for football fees and whatever, like it happens every year. And so it helps me take emotion out of anything because I'm like, okay, yeah, this is pretty in line with where it was last year. And when you're new, you don't have all these data points, but as you keep going with this, and longevity is huge in this business, it's really helpful to compare trends and look over time. Same thing with like launches, right? Like I know that the Ultimate Portion Fix launch was so big back in the day. And then 2B Mindset was so big. And then guess what? Gut Protocol was so big. And so I know that if Body does another launch, yes, I will learn it and get behind it and talk about it and do it myself, because I have seen like the power of that, and that just reaches a much broader market. But anyway, it's helpful to track all that stuff. And then if you guys do flash sales or anything like that, I can see I can see like spikes, right? I'm like, oh, we did a flash sale, or, oh, that was New Year's. Yep. That's like the 2 weeks after New Year's is always high. And then it kind of steadies back out again. Spring break, I kind of see a bump. Summer, I'll kind of see a bump, and you guys will too. And you'll kind of start to understand your market and how to lean into that even more. To see yourself in your downline 12. I know, wouldn't that be something? I'm just like, what does that look like? Okay, I'm gonna share my screen if it lets me. I think it will. Cool. And this is what my income tracker looks like. And there's a graph on here that I really want to talk about. Okay, I opened it right before this, so. Okay. There we go. So this is like from the beginning of time. And you guys can see, like, especially in the beginning, my coaches will say, well, a lot of it is $0 weeks. And I'm like, so what? So was mine. Like, you got to track it and look at it. You know, this is probably like selling some DVDs or something back in 2015. So week ending, right? We get paid weekly. And then I've got Molly number 1, Steve, Molly number 2, Molly number 3. And you probably just have yourself if you're just starting, maybe your spouse as well. But this is how it looks. And then what I want to show you is the there's this graph. Okay, here we go. This is weekly income progression from the beginning of time. I've been coaching for 8 years. And the reason that I love to show this is because if you look the first year and a half, even 2 years, there's not a whole lot of movement here. And the reason I'm telling you this is because this is when a ton of people quit. And it's when a ton of people are like, wasn't really working for me, wasn't earning that much. But then look what happens here. And this is correlated with 2-star for sure. Like you can see the uptick, and then you can see it, you know, continue to grow from there. And so people will call this like a hockey stick or something. And I mentioned this, but I've never taken my foot off the gas in this business. Never, not in 8 years. Yep. I have seasons where I slow down, and seasons where I speed up, but I am always consistent, have always been, and always will be, because I've looked at it as a career. And if I was doing any other type of career, right, that I wanted to keep building and keep growing, I would keep showing up. It wouldn't be like, oh, I can just, you know, I'm going to check out for the month, then I'll be back the next month. I know some people have that mindset, but I don't, because I've wanted to continue to grow this and continue to grow myself, right, and be challenged and all of those things. So I share this because consistency is so key, and you hear that all the time, but like this is a good visual of it. And longevity is so key. And I really think that the first 1 to 2 years, maybe 3, depending on how fast you're going or not, I think it filters a lot of people out. And it's a shame, because it's like, if you would just keep going, and I don't mean just stay signed up, I mean, hit Success Club, do the things, like bring on a couple coaches each month or 10, like however you want to build it, right? You can go faster or slower, but you have to be building. If you do that, I do think you're going to see some really solid income in year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? But it's like, you know, the microwave society with crock pot dreams, that kind of thing. And now that's becoming even more inflated of a mindset with social media and everything, and people going viral quickly. It's like, I hate the like viral mindset, because I'm like, you can build this so solid and so strong over time, and in a pretty like non-burnout way, right? Like I have just built it really steadily, and I don't want to say slowly, because I don't think it has been slow, but very steadily throughout all the seasons. And I think that's such a cool thing. So anyway, Paige, that's what I've got. I hope that was helpful. We can open it up for questions or anything else you guys want to talk about.
Oh my. I have a couple things. Number one, you have single-handedly convinced me that I am going to take my YMCA up on the offer to teach fitness classes. I keep going back and forth.
Oh,
Even just like the thought of I could meet somebody,
yeah.
you guys, we can meet people anywhere.
Mhm.
And I feel like our in-person connections, like we downplay those and we're like, how do I connect with people on social media? It's like connect with the person at work, connect with the person, connect with the person at church, like obsessed with that. Second thing I will not get over and I will never forget is the graph you just showed us, because you are so right. I have seen it over and over again that people quit in that time period where it's like, of course your income's not growing as much as you want it to yet because you haven't like stuck with it and kept building. So I love all of that. I have a lot of notes right here. I want you guys to ask questions. I wrote something down, but you actually ended up answering it. So
Cool.
what questions do you guys have for Molly?
I have a question about when you get your second business center. Do you keep your study diamond, right? You have to keep that in order to start putting the people in your business center. Because don't you like your success club and sales, you can put it through the business center, like you said, to go up, but you have to hold diamond in your first account though, right? In order to do that.
Well, you don't have to, but you would want to. Like, I
That
would
way you
always,
get the,
yeah, to get the 18s across everything.
okay,
Like you never want to, my opinion, you never want to start building spouse or second business center if your first one isn't solid diamond.
Mm,
Like that is always the top priority, because it's silly not to get 18. Your first business center is going to have the most volume of them all, right? And so it's very silly to let that drop from diamond.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so clarification on a 2-star. If all of the SC, do I need SC on like account number 1 and account number 2?
No.
Or does it all flow up?
It flows up. Yep. So it's different from a spouse's account, right? Because that's like its own entity.
Yeah.
But your second, your third, your fourth, they all roll up to the one. So you don't have to like hit Success Club in multiple accounts. Yep.
Okay. I was like panicking a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
No.
lot of people.
I know. I think people do panic because they're like, oh, I don't even like doing that with,
Yeah.
spouse's account. Now I got to do it 3. Like, no, you don't need to. It all rolls up to one. Same thing with like unlocking super blocks, and they've made it really nice to have multiple business centers. Like you do have to pay the $15 fee across those accounts, but it is covered and then some,
Well, yeah, especially if you've got your diamond on. Yeah, for
Right.
sure. Okay.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about the mindset when you are recruiting? We have a really strong group of lifers here. Like that is our biggest power.
That's awesome.
Our team, we are lifers. But I feel like recruiting is the biggest pain point, which I also know is obvious and company-wide, I think, but I want to hear about your mindset when it comes to recruiting.
Yeah, well, I love what Paige said about the power of in-person connection, like in-person stuff, because that's huge. Like I built my 5-star organization with my Facebook friends, right? Like I wasn't leading webinars, I wasn't waiting for my upline to do a sneak peek. I wasn't sharing Carl's body opportunity call that we have now. Like, I think all these things are great resources and I think you should lean into them. But how I did it and how I still do it very often is I just invite people to coaching that I would want to do this with. And in the beginning, I was like, hey, friend Jackie, like you should do this coaching thing with me. It's a lot of fun. We can do it together, figuring it out together. And she was like, okay. And she'd ask me questions and I'd be like, I have no idea. I'm not sure. Let's look at it. Let's figure it out together. And like, that is what I did. Literally, honest, not even 5-star, probably 7-star, probably 9-star. I just would like talk to a lot of people about it. And a lot of them said no. I remember when I was starting, I would have coffee dates with like people about it. And like, I would explain it to them. And I did not know what I was doing. Like, I wish I could like hear myself at these coffee dates, but like the first 4 were all like, nah, no, not for me. No, thanks. And I just think about how many people would just stop And I was like, well, I don't know. There's got to be more people out there and I can get better at like talking about this. And I was practicing and some of those came back around. But I think like those people who you just know would be fun to do this with, like, why haven't you asked them yet? Like, because you don't need a webinar and you don't need to know the comp plan and you don't need to know anything. You need to tell them two things. One, why you think they would make a good coach. Like, I thought of you because, and then two, specific qualities that they have. They kind of go hand in hand. But when my coach Katie was like, Molly, you should do this. Like, you're already so credible with health and fitness. That's one thing she told me. And then she said, you could lead specific boot camp, or we didn't call them that, accountability groups around for runners. Like, you could lead running groups. And I was like, oh, I could. Because I was like, training for stuff. And so like, are they good with their time management? Are they really organized? Teachers are always so creative. I just think about the person on the other end. I'm like, why would she be really good at this? And I tell them that. And that's like, it takes their belief up tenfold. And so that's my recruiting secret sauce, is really talking to that person about why you think they would be good at it. They're just scared. They're like, that's not for me. I don't think I could ever do that. And so they need to understand why you believe in them. And then even if they do say no, the seed is planted and they're watching and they know that you have them in mind and they have you in mind and they'll probably be back. So that's what I would say, Paige, is just go talk to people. And a lot of them, like, they are going to say no. So
I love that. Do you guys have any other questions for Molly? Okay, well, Molly, I feel really inspired and
Good.
also very thankful for your calm. I don't really know how to explain it. It just feels different and like doable. Like, you hear
Right.
people talk and you're like, I don't know if I can do that. But I feel very inspired and like ready to get up and work tomorrow. And I hope everybody else feels that way too. So thank you so much for spending tonight with us.
You're so welcome. And I don't mean to, I'm not trying to like pitch myself or anything, but if you guys like this kind of stuff, I have a podcast. It's for coaches. Like, it's for my whole team because they listen to it, and it's called Dream It, Do It. And I talk a lot about tactical business stuff because I just feel like people like the specifics, and so if you like that kind of stuff, you can take a listen.
We do, and we will be. So thank you.
Good.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
We will see you guys next week. Molly, thank you again.
You're so welcome. Take care, guys.
Have a good delivery.
Oh, thank you so much.